So why is there so much loneliness out there in the world? Why is it so hard to make friends? I guess for some people that might not be a problem, but maybe it's just a facade that anyone really has an easy time making real friends. Often my friends or people I meet will tell me I'm lucky because I met my wife. We've been together for 25 years this year, married for a lot of that. But I feel like we've always been married. You know, we've lived together for almost the entire time and helped to raise her son, who was 3 when I met him. And my family is like the most important thing to me, you know. And I'm so lucky to have somebody that I can come home to every day. And I've never taken that for granted, even though no matter what we do in life can become routine, can become the same old same old. We bought our house in 2004. So, we've lived here for 20 years almost. And maybe it is 20, maybe it was 2003. At any rate, we're here. And we've been looking for land to move out and kind of try to give our youngest kids, which are 10 and 13, at least a few years growing up kind of in the country, getting away from it all. But we'll see if that happens. But to us, loneliness is fine because we already have a unit. To a person who moves out to a place like that by themselves, even though they may love it, eventually it seems like without companionship, people tend to suffer mentally. Not always, and often, even people who do live by themselves have routines and things they do and go out and meet people. They go to events or, play bridge or go hiking and have groups. But I think that the idea of hanging out with people and having friends is very overrated in the sense of, and that sounds kind of offensive to my friends, no offense. No, my friends mean everything to me, and I only have a few good friends. And I have several, like at least 5 or 6 friends that are people that I would consider friends, but only like 3 or 4 close friends, but that's a lot more than some people have. But we still might not see each other for a whole year, you know. I mean, we're in our late 40s, so of course we're going to, have times where we're doing other things, and there have been times in the past where we weren't getting along, things like that. But in general, it's petty things. And my friends and I have gotten along just fine over the last, decade or so. And it's great, having a group chat with a couple of friends that you knew when you were like a teenager, when they were like 12. And, it's an interesting and rewarding thing, but also to have family. And I'm so grateful for that. And sometimes I think about folks who are in situations that I've never encountered. People who are completely alone. And not by choice, because I know people who want to be alone by choice. There are some who really do love the solitude. And I would say this is more common with people who have already had a very busy life and dealt with a lot of noise and other people and just want to chill by themselves. That's understandable. They want things on their own terms. But for people who have never had anyone, there's a totally different situation there. So one person who lives alone might be there by choice, real choice. The other might be there just wishing that they had somebody that they could relate to. And I know sometimes it's the person's fault that maybe they are so abrasive or so angry or so depressing, It could be anything. But certain people honestly have personalities that turn most people off. And that's really difficult because you can't tell a person to change, and you shouldn't. However, it's kind of like the party pooper nobody wants to be around. You find that you'll gravitate away from people who aren't aren't fun to be around, for lack of a better way to put it. Personally, I mean, I don't know. I was at work today and I was thinking because I had to put up ceiling panels in the tiny house we're building, and they slant up and we have to climb up on these, this plank on these ladders and push the panels up and nail them up. And I've been having shoulder pain. I guess it's what is it called? Cervicular radiopathy or something. It's basically the same thing I had when I had sciatic pain, but it's on my arm and it pinches the nerve where these two fingers get kind of numb and tingly, and there's a pain all the way through my shoulder, so I haven't been able to sleep. And I knew I had to be there today to put that in, and so I got there and I did it, and with because the other guy was going to be there specifically to help me with that. But anyway, I got it done, and there was a point to this. I was at work. Oh, I was talking about attitude. I smiled the whole day. I always have a good attitude. I always make jokes. I've never gone to work and just been like a depressing bum. I won't even go if I feel that way. But I'm very grateful that I've learned to kind of teach myself, if you want other people to have a good day, you've got to have a good day. That's extremely important. And so that's a great way to, people will gravitate towards you if you have a good attitude. If you are depressed every day and you act like everything sucks and you're always talking about the problems in the world, people might, agree with you, of course, to some extent. Be like, yeah, the world's kind of fucked up. But they'll be like, God, I don't want to hear about this shit. I've even, I'm guilty of that too, sharing too much apocalyptic knowledge with people. There was a time when I was really into that kind of stuff. And I realized there have been times in my life where I just feel cloudy in my head. Times when I felt like things just aren't going right. And at those times, that's kind of when I want the world to fall apart. When things are going well for me and everything's great, I just hope everything just keeps going along smooth. And I think that's pretty much a universal thing. We're all a little bit selfish that way. And for the sake of my own family and myself, uh, I want to do whatever is best for us. But, if the shit hits the fan, of course, I'll take care of that when that time comes. That's a totally different story. But I think living for today and just enjoying the moment we have, regardless of how fucked up the world might be, without complaining about it, without seeing the negative, and learning to see the silver lining in everything, it's better for you all around. So it's not being, awoken to the truth if all the truth you see is negative and all you see are problems, and you feed into, the conspiracy theories, and you're always obsessed with, and I've been down that road, so I know. But you find out that really, yeah, all kinds of people plan all kinds of weird shit all the time. You ain't gonna stop it, so you might as well just move on with your own life. Start your own cult, right? No. But yeah, I think making friends and meeting people can be very difficult for some folks. Sometimes they can change their attitudes and make it easier. Other times it's just circumstance, Maybe they live too far away from anybody else, and it can be very hard, especially for older folks. So, yeah, I don't know what the solution is, I guess. Maybe just kind of a shout out to those who are lonely, and feel like nobody cares, or, you know, I even feel bad. Like my mom lives alone. I feel like I don't contact her enough. Time flies by. I'm like, oh shit. And you know, same with my wife's mom, which might be, you know, why maybe subconsciously why I even made this. I didn't think about it, but my wife is down at her mom's right now. She just got home from work, and then her mom couldn't get up from her chair, so my wife had to drive all the way down, like over into the Oregon from Washington here, and because we live in Vancouver, so it's about a half an hour drive, but you know, it all the way down to help her out, and it's difficult to uh, to see when older people end up living alone. Fortunately, she has people to help her, so um, and that's a good thing. And my mom will when she needs it too, but she's stubborn. She doesn't want help. Uh, she likes living alone. She's one of those. So anyway, you know, just some rambles about loneliness. I guess no solutions because maybe it was just kind of a tribute to those who are lonely and to say that I'm grateful that I can't relate. And if you have family and friends, don't take it for granted. Never take it for granted. I'll talk to y'all next time. Peace out.